Hi, Dyslexic Genius here. We're starting a complete restoration of Edison Opera. Operas came out in November of 1911, and they are a whopping $90 new, and they were known as acoustical perfection in phonographs. You are getting one hell of a phonograph for $90 from Edison on this thing. This thing has 2 flywheels and a whole bunch of other really cool gizmo stuff. And this is what they look like. This piece here is an automatic shutoff. So if you put it into play position, this comes down like that, hits that, and boop, shuts your machine automatically off, which is very nice. These are gear-driven mandrel shaft. So we don't have anything moving this way. This just plays along like that. And this is on, and this is off. It's also missing the oil dust covers. There's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down here. These came in mahogany or oak. And what you first want to do is crank it up, but I already know what's wrong with it, and I'm going to show you here in a moment what you have to look at on taking one of these apart. There'll be a whole video now on how to take Edison Opera apart, put it back together, and what to look at. First thing you're going to do, you undo this little thumb screw, and you're going to pull the reproducer out.
Where was the thumb screw?
Right here. This holds the reproducer. Now what happens on these, as you can see these marks right here, every time you screw this in and out, it hits here, and this will burr up and make it hard for you to get the reproducer out. And also you want to check, we have a little pin right here. You see this little pin? That fits in this little slot right here. So the reproducer comes in. And that pin goes into that slot. But this is the burr, this burr piece here always makes it hard. So on the restoration, we will clean this up when I show you on the reproducer rebuild. Next thing you want to do is we want to look under the castings. We're going to pull this casting out. And on operas, all these little screws are special to an opera. Since we don't want to lose these special little screws on an opera, we're going to use the magnetic plates. And we're going to lift this casting off. And this is flywheel number 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this one. We have 2 screws in the back here. And all you have to do is loosen them. You don't want to lose or break these castings. This is the top end of an Edison Opera. We have a flywheel here. We have a flywheel here. Next, what we want to check is on operas, they have 2 tensions. They have a tension spring, which is right here.
Right where?
Right there. There's a tension spring that goes through this shaft. It doesn't go through the other side. Now the problem is with a phonograph, and I showed the customer in the beginning, we turn the mandrel like this, and the governor drive gear, which is right here, my finger's back in here, is loose or broken. Well, we don't know this till we're going to get this apart. And this is the problem. I cranked it up for the customer, and it started making funny noises, and I went, holy crap, the governor's not running. So the problem really is this drive gear right here. And we're going to see if we can fix this. You know, do a little bit of, you can see this when I spin the governor. If you hold that, see this? You see how that freewheels like that? If I hold the shaft, see how that freewheels? That shouldn't do that, that drives it. We'll have to see what's really wrong with this. This is the on-off switch. You can see here, right here, this comes in and stops the machine. You never oil that. And this is the start. We'll move this. The trick to these is they're screwed into the bottom right here. So to get the motor out, we have to undo these two screws. So what we're going to have to do is you're going to take your motor and you're going to use this and you're going to pick it up. These things weigh 45 pounds. And you're going to lay it down just like that. Now what you'll do is we'll come in here and you'll remove these two screws with a short screwdriver. Always use the right screwdriver. Where'd my short one go? Because we have to get down to this screw. These four screws holding it in. There we go. Now what you can do is you can lean this up like that, okay? Checking on the bottom. Now, the best way to take this apart is to take all these screws off. Then we will have the motor on the motor board. And that'll be in the next video. So to understand how you're going to get this motor out, you're going to have to do this in reverse. You have to be very careful with them. And I'm resting on castings, which is good. We're going to undo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to gently pull the cabinet off and looking at all the screws. Now you can see the motor. If we have 2 spring barrels, it's all gear driven. And this here is the brake system right here. And that's my tip for the day.